a little bit different of a kind of video than usual, but I kind of, from time to time, about once a month I go through, I see, like, what are my top performing videos, like the top 50, and I categorize them of, like, what they are, and one of them, and, like, from there, I try to see any themes of things, like, okay, this is what people have been watching this past month, seems like they'd like to see more of that, so let's cater to that, and that generally works pretty well for me. And one video that popped up and has been consistently, out of nowhere, kind of high, even though it was, like, a really old video that I'd kind of forgotten about, to be totally honest. It was, like, so long ago, and first time I think I've seen it pop up ever since I've been doing this practice. Who remembers the Why I'm Loony for Lip Balm video? Yeah, so I was like, well, I can't really make that twice, but what can I do that's kind of in that same vein, that, like, might get that same niche of people? And it inspired this video, which is, like, have my attitudes towards lip balm collecting changed over time? And I want to say both yes and no. And that sounds crazy, and like it doesn't make sense, but hang with me. I want to say that on one hand, yes it has, because the intention behind it, I feel like, has changed over time. But on the other hand, I very much still enjoy it, very much still enjoy doing it, very much still have every intention of continuing to do it, but not necessarily in the same way that I once did, like, maybe 10 years ago, because I feel like back then, like, let's go back to 2015, for example. I feel like the intention behind it, at that point, I mean, I've always, in some capacity, collected lip balm. That's not gonna change, like, don't worry, I'm not changing formats on you guys, like, chill. Not doing anything like that. Format's not changing. That's not going anywhere. I've always, in some capacity, collected them. And I think to some degree, I've always collected them in larger numbers than, like, the average individual, but, you know, we've all got our things. It's harmless. Like, it's hurting no one. But then, like, I started seeing, like, these people on YouTube who had, like, these massive, insane collections, and I think some part of me wanted to be included. I wanted to be part of a community. I wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. So I, like, started going really overboard with it. But, like, even at that level, I could still justify to a degree, because I was, like, buying them and reviewing them and using them. And that's what I'm still doing and still intend to do. But at some point, something changed, and I found out that somebody had the world record for the largest collection. And I saw that number, I was like, I could top that. Hold my beer. I could top that. And I think I made it my mission to turn this into a numbers game more than anything else, rather than, like, stuff that I'm necessarily actively using. This turned into a numbers game real quick, where I had every intention of, I'm not just gonna buy them. I'm going to hold on to them forever and keep buying them so that I have an insanely huge collection so that I can get the world record. And then somebody topped what was then the world record, and it shifted to something so unattainable that I was like, well, fuck. I literally tanked thousands of dollars into this for literally nothing. Cool. Love that for me. And I mean, of the ones that I actually use, I have no regrets. But do we remember those videos I used to do back around that time, where it was, like, insanely huge lip balm hauls where I was buying literally hundreds of them at a time? If you don't, be glad you missed that period. It was not a proud well, in the moment it was a proud moment because I thought I was flexing, but in hindsight, it's almost a little embarrassing, but because a lot of those, I was literally going on eBay every single day. I was sorting it by cheapest and looking for literally any lip balm that I did not currently own. I did not care how old it was. I didn't care if it was open. I didn't care if it was used. This was a numbers game. I literally just needed ones that were unique that I didn't have already to add to the number count so that I could get the world record. That was my only intention at that point. In the meantime, yeah, the ones I'm actually using I will continue reviewing, but like, this was a freaking numbers game now, and I wanted that so badly. And at this point, it's so insanely huge and unattainable that I've given up. I can't do that. I don't have the funds necessary to keep throwing at that. And honestly, at this point in my life, I don't want to do that. Because so many of these that I was buying were literally unusable. Either because they were so old, or they were expired, or they were literally just gross. Some had mold, like, again, some were used. Like, I just, boxes upon boxes upon boxes of these. Just unusable ones that I had stored separate from the ones I actively use and review, and those are great. Those are great, don't worry, no complaints about those, no regrets about those. Love those. Nothing's changing there. But of the ones that, like, literally were never even usable, ew, I spit, I'm so sorry, what was the point of that? What kind of nervous breakdown was I going through? What was I compensating for at that point in my life to where that made sense in my head is a thing worth doing? What was I thinking? Like, bro, I've had this revelation over the past several years of, oh my god. And not only that, but like, the intention of, once I have it, I'm gonna hold on to it for freaking forever to keep those numbers that I have in here. And there were so many of them that, like, I would use it to an extent, but I never wanted to use them up, because if I used it up, now it was a number down in my collection. I didn't want the numbers to go down, so I would just keep them. All of them. A lot of them going far more unused than I would like to admit that I'm ashamed of now. And now I kick myself, because a lot of the ones that are now discontinued and I can't buy again in, like, a new one, I could have just used those up and enjoyed them, but no, I deprived myself because I didn't want my numbers to go down. But at the same time, I didn't want to sound like an insane person and say I was doing that. I was literally hoarding them. Like, I'm not even joking. I was literally hoarding them. Just boxes upon boxes upon boxes. It's so insane. And so sad. And so much wasted money that just honestly makes me ill to think about how many thousands I tanked into ones that were never usable from day one, from the word go. What the hell was I thinking? I don't know, but that was like 10 years ago. That isn't now. That isn't my approach anymore, and it hasn't been for a long time. If you haven't noticed, like when I do lip balm hauls now, they are much smaller. Much more manageable ones, sorry, my voice squeaked. They're much more sane now and much more reasonable. They're still more excessive than most average people would do, but I'm running a channel where I review them, and I try to review one every single day. Whether or not they go up every day or not, I film them every day, okay? But regardless, I have intentions because I make money back doing that. So that, to me, feels worth it. And then the money when I do Lippies of the Week, when I do my Project Pans, when I do my favorites videos, when I do, like, all sorts of things, it makes it worth my while. Ones that are actively being used, absolutely. I have no intentions of that changing. But of buying ones for no reason other than to just build numbers, I'm not doing that anymore. That's stupid. I have so many regrets. Not doing that again. Haven't been doing that for years now, but I think I stopped doing that around 2018 or somewhere around there. I think I realized a few years in that this is insane and also really expensive. So I stopped doing that. I broke myself of that pretty easily, but I still had these boxes upon boxes upon boxes of ones I've just never used because they were unusable from the word go, and I knew they were unusable, but I didn't care because I wanted that record until I found out it's just such a high number that even with everything that I have, it's not attainable because of all the lip products I have. How many of those are lip balms? A lot of them technically aren't lip balms. So actually, for as insane a collection as I have of lip products that I actively use, the ones that would have been eligible for this record is a much slimmer number than, it's not doable. It's not realistic. I gave up on that dream. Bye-bye. It's gone. Poof. Bye-bye. But I don't know what the hell. I don't know. I was going through a lot around that point in my life, to be fair. There's a lot of things I may have been compensating for. There's a lot of things I may have been trying to distract from that I was trying to make up for. I don't know. I wanted to be a part of something bigger. I wanted some kind of legacy, but then again, seeing how quickly, like, that one record got topped by that other record holder that has it now, even if I had done it, how pissed would I have been if I had gone to all that trouble, got the record, and then somebody topped it like 5 minutes later? Like, dude. Like, no. I don't think I would have ever recovered. But, like, no. So, I stopped doing that. And somewhere along the line, I had to rationalize and reason with myself. Jen, all of this space that you are wasting with these old-ass lip balms that you cannot use, let them go. Let them the fuck go. Because I'm gonna tell you a thing. Like, if one has such exceptionally cute packaging to where you want to keep it as a display thing, that's one thing. I do have some of those. I will also be transparent that I cleaned out the lip balm from them, so it's literally basically just a little figurine. But there will be a very small number of people who know exactly what I am talking about when I describe this. But let it also be a cautionary tale of what not to do. So if, by chance, you did have a collection like this, of really, really insane numbers, but also of really old lip balms that are open, have you ever walked into a room that has that many, that are that old, that are open, and just inhaled this odd aroma? If you have, you know the exact smell I am talking about. It's crazy and not in a good way. You know why? Because they're fucking expired. You're literally, like, poisoning your air. Well, not poisoning. That's over-dramatizing. But you're tainting the air with expired products that are reeking and leaching into the air and making your space stink for no good goddamn reason other than you're stubborn and you spent the money and you don't want to let go of them. So I did eventually let go of them, and I cried because just thinking of the amount of money that went into these. Holy shit. Holy shit. Like I said, there are certain ones that I kept the packagings of, like, just as display pieces, but I cleaned them out so they wouldn't continue to stink or, like, grow mold or anything gross, but a lot of them just straight up in the trash. Literally burning money. Disgusts me now, but... And how many that I just partially used a little bit of and never touched again just because I didn't want the numbers to go down. So many Revos. It hurts my soul. The old school EOS, like, I could have just enjoyed them and used them up. This is part of why I feel so strongly now about doing the Project Pan stuff, to actually use my stuff up. Like, not just use it, but try to use it up. Because I don't want to just, like, use a thing a couple times and, like, not touch it again. Like, that's wasteful. At least even if I don't manage to make it through 100% of the thing, as long as I put, like, a nice good dent into it, I have a clear conscience about that. You know? Because there's a lot of people that don't get all the way through their stuff. But, like, if it was only used a couple times and never touched again, yeah, I have a lot harder of a time rationalizing with myself of having wasted that money. So, again, this is why you've seen the progression over the years shift from just a numbers game into very slowly, like, I inched into it. And I was, like, a very slow adopter of this mindset, but once I got on board, I'm good with it now. Of wanting to use the stuff. Like, actually, like, use it up. Now, it's gamified to me. Now it's fun to use it up instead of just, like, oh, but I want to be precious with it and keep it forever. It's like, nah, bitch, that's not the point. You know that's not the point. Like, use it up, enjoy it. It was meant to be used and enjoyed. Yes, that was a long time coming. Used to cause me so much anxiety even thinking about using them up all the way. Now I've gotten to where I do it and I enjoy it, and it's a huge win to me when I actually hit an empty. Is there still stuff that occasionally expires? Yeah, but you know what? It's ultimately a pretty small number compared to what all I have in my collection. And that makes me feel pretty good about the progress that I make on them. That makes me feel really good. Because you saw, even without having done a lip balm declutter in several years, there was only, what, like maybe a dozen that had to go out? Okay, so a dozen went out. Alright, that's not the end of the world. I can live with that. That's, yeah, a couple of them were sad, but some were like, it is what it is. But, yeah, I've come a long way. So while I have no intentions of stopping buying them. Like, whenever there's new releases, you know damn well I am right there on the front lines buying them as soon as I learn they exist. New EOS? Fuck yeah, I'm there. New Burt's Bees? I'm there. Like, new Blistex, Carmex? I'm there. Like, you get the drill. I don't have to list off all other brands. Like, new Crazy Rumors, new Delight Natural. Like, you know how it is. I will buy them. I buy all of them. And I have no guilt about it because I actually use them now, and it's a good feeling. May take me a while to get around to opening them, but, you know, they do get used, and that's the part that it's shifted, and I feel like I have a much healthier relationship with it now. So, because this is my job, it is still much higher numbers than the average person, and that's okay. That is totally okay. I know plenty of people who don't run YouTube channels who also do the same thing just because they enjoy it. And you know what? It's hurting no one. It's hurting no one. But now it's not being done in a way that's like so stupidly wasteful like it once was. Like, where I just had so much regret of what the hell am I even doing? Why am I doing this? Like, I think about like those days, like, and it wasn't just like scouring eBay. We're talking about like deep dives, hours at a time, every day. This was like all-encompassing for a while. I don't know. I don't know what weird-ass mental breakdown that was a part of, but there's several that come to mind, but yeah. I've moved forward to a better place with it. And I'm very glad that I have. Like, if you're still stuck in that boat, I understand. My heart goes out to you. If you need a cheerleader in your corner to help you, like, make a better choice with it, I'm your girl. At the same time, if you're not there yet and you're not ready, I totally get that too, and it cannot be rushed. It cannot be rushed. And if you're one of those people that just genuinely wants to do that with their money, you know what? That's also your prerogative. More power to you. I have other things I need to spend my money on than just something that literally isn't even going to literally be touched. Beyond just showing off of, flexing, look what I blew my money on. Like, no. That is not what we are doing here anymore. Like, no. We have not done that in years, and we are not going back to doing that again. Yeah, 2015 was a weird time, guys. Like, it wasn't just me either. Like, it was genuinely a weird time across the board, because it was far from just me doing this shit. But the one thing I did notice is that a lot of the other channels doing it were a lot younger and they were spending their parents' money, whereas I actually had to earn my own money to blow on that shit, so that stung a lot more for me to do that with, but I don't know. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I don't know, but yeah, I've come a long way. I know there's people out there who did that, who have no intentions of giving up their collections, and they just dedicate a literal room in their house to putting those in. And they, like, barely even go in there because of the smell. And it's literally just their lip balm room. There was one adult on this on this site who is now, like, missing in action. Like, she deleted every video off of her channel. Her socials, it's like, I think maybe she also came to this same point too. Because she was, like, one of the people I feel like may have inspired me to start doing what I was doing, because she was doing it too, like, to an even more insane degree. Who remembers, what was it? Lissa and Beauty, I think it was, or just Lissa Beauty? Whatever Lissa's, was, but, yeah. She had it, like, even more extreme than I did, because she was, like, buying dupes of all the things. She wasn't just buying the insane amounts, she was buying dupes of all the things, and had a dedicated room in her house for just that. And I'm not throwing shade. I am not here to shame anybody. Except myself. I can shame myself. But, like, I think, given the way that everything got wiped, this is speculation on my part, I think she came to the same point I must have, and, yeah, decided to not only just fresh start it, but, like, just, you know what, let's not even associate with those old memories. See, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm an open book. I'm not trying to hide my past, so those are staying up. We're not doing them anymore, but it'll stay up. But, like, yeah, it's not the way we operate anymore. So, like, I have no problem buying, like, a few dozen from a place, like, especially when it's, like, Delight Naturals, like we've seen. But, like, there's a huge difference between, like, a few dozen from a brand that are brand new and usable versus, like, several hundred at a time, and then doing it all over again, like, a month or two later. Like, of old-ass unusable ones. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Worst part, most of them weren't even, like, good ones to start with. They were, like, weird-ass, like, unheard of brands. A lot of them probably from China. Like, I don't know. It was a weird time. It was a weird time. Like, yeah. I'm glad that we've moved forward to a healthier place with this. So, I mean, that's what I mean by saying yes and no, that my attitudes have changed. Because, like, yes, in the way that we're approaching it, but no, I'm very much still collecting. Don't get me wrong. I think that'll probably be a thing I do the rest of my life, to some degree. I mean, I don't know how long YouTube will be a thing for. As long as this platform's a thing, I'll be on it doing my thing. But, like, if YouTube should ever, like, no longer be a platform that exists, and there's, like, no place to jump off to and continue from, I'll probably still do it on a lesser degree, like I used to before I brought this to YouTube, where it was like, yeah, I would have, like, probably maybe, like, 30, 40 lippies at a time, and, like, cycle those, but, like, that was basically what my collections looked like back in the day, prior to starting in on YouTube with it, so, yeah, just saying, but as long as YouTube's a thing, again, this is a job, so it does require having a lot more than, like, the average individual, just for, like, point of reference to those who don't run channels, or don't run channels like this one, just trying to make it make sense to people who don't understand it. That's why, because it's for the content that I create. So, anyway, I'm babbling, but yeah, I thought it'd be, like, just kind of interesting to, like, share how, like, my attitudes have shifted from, like, away from numbers games into still collecting, but collecting stuff that's usable and stuff that I want to use up, so. But I still get just as excited as I ever did at new releases, and I'm still there on the front lines, like, the day that I find out they exist. So don't take this as a, I don't want to collect. No, don't get me wrong. I still very much want to collect. And I'm still very much going to collect, but all with usable stuff. And that's like, nothing's changing, okay? The change already happened years ago now. This is just how it changed from back then to now, but the shift already happened. So by the time it's not like anything new moving forward is happening. Nah, we've already made the shift. It's already happened, so. Like, if you're one of my friends that, like, helps me track stuff down, oh yes, I still want to know about new releases. I still want, like, the new stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's not changing, guys. That's not changing. So, oh gosh. Anyway, again, I'm babbling. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm just kind of curious, for you guys who also collect, have your attitudes shifted over time in one way or another? It doesn't have to necessarily be the arc that I have experienced, but, like, have yours just shifted in general in any direction over time? And if so, are you willing to share in the comments about it? Because honestly, I think this is an interesting topic, and one that I think that we could get a discussion going about. So, anyway, that's it for this one, guys. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel, you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.